Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Women Unfiltered. Oh, I'm so excited about this. Let me give you a brief little intro to it. So, this isn't a podcast about fixing women. It's about finally telling the truth without softening it, shrinking in it, or apologizing for it. These are conversations of women that are having them quietly, if at all, what we're outgrowing, what we're questioning, and what we're no longer willing to carry. No scripts, no polishing, and no pretending. Just real women, real truths, and the permission to say what has been living under the surface. So, welcome, you guys. I'm so excited that you're here. So, we have with us, of course, I'm the host, Julie Fairhurst, and we have Tammy Trites, we have Lea Abrams, and we have Trish Kimble. So, Tammy, why don't you start us off with giving us a little bit of information about yourself?
Hi, my name's Tammy Trites, and I'm the executive assistant for Women Like Me. Um, I have five girls and I have five grandchildren, so I'm five for five.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, Leah, how about yourself?
Hi, everybody. I've been coughing, so
Oh,
pardon me. My name is Lea Abrams. I'm a mindfulness and somatic coach. I am a soul collage facilitator. I'm a poet. I'm a writer. I'm an educator. I do a lot of things. And I have a business called Risewell, where I do coaching, and primarily circles, and a lot of them are for women, circles for women. I also have two daughters. I don't have five daughters. I have two daughters. I have two grandchildren, and right now I'm living in Arizona.
perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Trish.
Hi, everyone. I am kind of like Leah in the fact that I do a little bit of everything. So my company is Blank Slate, and I started out being a bookkeeper and a virtual executive assistant because that was my background. Since then, I have also gone into becoming an author and a speaker and a coach and mentor. So that's a little bit of everything that I do.
Perfect. Well, thank you, three ladies, for being willing to be here. You're very brave ladies, that's for sure. Okay, so our first question that we're going to dive into is where do you see women staying longer than they should have, out of loyalty, out of fear, or out of conditioning? So, who wants to go first?
Well, I can jump in.
Okay, perfect.
My first response to that is I see them everywhere.
Mm,
I just see them everywhere. I see it in workplaces. I see it in marriages. I see it in families. There isn't like a profile of a woman that is dealing with those issues. I think we all are to a certain extent.
mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that when I was mulling this question over, I thought, it's survival more than choice, maybe, that a lot of women are I don't want to use the word stuck because, but not able to maybe move forward because they're just in that survival mode.
Right.
Well, I think people they value them for what they provide, but they don't really see who they are.
Mm.
And so we stay in a phase or a position or a relationship usually much longer than we really should.
Yes, I
Right.
agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's hard for the ones that are supposed to fix everything to
Yeah,
be able to
yeah,
push forward. Yeah.
yes, yeah. Or are expected to fix everything.
Yeah,
yeah,
Right.
right. I mean, I think that we've been conditioned as women to help others thrive, but
yes.
not help ourselves thrive.
Mhm.
And that
Yes.
we actually commend ourselves for surviving. And
Yeah,
I remember thinking about that a while back that, I'm a survivor. Well, wait a minute. I don't want to be a survivor. I want to be a thriver. And then I
Yeah.
look at the people around me, the people I've impacted, my children, my partners. I've enabled them to thrive, but I haven't allowed myself to thrive.
Oh my goodness, that's a great insight. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we do a lot of that.
The back burner sits heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yes. I think that I made a note down here that what we rarely say out loud is that staying in that environment can be just as harmful as
Mm,
leaving, because we fear that leaving, but it might
yeah.
even be more harmful for us to stay, whether that's a
Yes.
relationship or a job or whatever that environment might be, or whatever we're doing can be just as can sometimes be worse for us.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just don't see it because we're so clouded in.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it goes back to that conditioning also that we are conditioned to stay the course, to be
Yes.
the one to make the relationships work, right?
Yeah.
Especially, if you're, in a marriage or in a partnership with a man, um,
Hmm.
the expectation that this relationship is going to work isn't really on us. That's the way I see it. And that's what not just for myself, but what I see with other women that I work with. And then we feel like failures,
Yeah. 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 Because we're expected to be the glue.
right? Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
And we're often quick to jump to take all the blame ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
sure
it's
are.
yeah, it's whatever's going wrong, it must be something we did or didn't do.
Yeah. I remember years ago, and even at my job, it's easier just to apologize, even if
Mm.
it wasn't my fault.
Yep.
Just apologize, move forward, get it out of the way. So I was constantly apologizing for stuff that really wasn't my responsibility, but
Right.
I didn't want to sit in that conflict.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why as Canadians we say, I'm sorry, a heck of a lot. And I had people point that out to me. I was always saying I'm sorry. And they said, you can't
Yeah.
be sorry for everything.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a big one for me, and I hear it all the time. And even with clients, pointing out, do you realize how many times you said I'm sorry? And my granddaughter, who is 4, now does it. And
Yeah.
both
Mm.
my daughter and I pointed out to her all the time, you don't need to be sorry. There's nothing to be sorry for, Julia. It's okay.
Yeah.
Not your fault. You don't need to be sorry. It's this automatic response.
Yeah.
Well, and at 4 years old, wow.
Yeah. Well, she's stopping,
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
working on it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But to have that, but it just gives you the it just makes you realize that this is societal.
Right.
4-year-olds just don't say they're sorry all the time for no reason.
Yeah. Well, I think it was something that you said just a few minutes ago, Trish, about that not only are we feel sort of responsible, but we also feel responsible to fix it,
Yes.
even if it's not ours,
Mm,
even if it's not.
absolutely.
And actually, I find that it's taking care of others and not allowing them to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's received graciously, but most of the time people don't really like that, actually. They get angry and annoyed. And then, as women, we're like, well, wait a minute, I'm just trying to be helpful.
Yeah.
But it's not mine. It's not mine. It's not my job.
Hmm.
And
Right.
we take on so much as if it's all our job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Wow. Such great insights here, ladies. Well, let's move on to our next question. So, what emotions do women feel but don't feel allowed to name them? So what emotions are we all out there dealing with, but heaven forbid, just, we're not going to say what that emotion is for whatever reason. What about you, Tammy? You want to start with that one?
The family roles.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh, sure.
just the of a woman's family role. Yeah, you go into to be something with two and you walk out with one and you take all not only of what is going on with you and child, but whatever he's going through or she's going through, it
Mhm.
also reflects on you.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I feel that anger is a big one that women aren't supposed to feel.
Yeah, that's to me, that's probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
Uh, Anger or um, I'm going to say grief, but that's not the right word. It, I often find for women that I talk to, and even myself, guilt. Guilt is a big thing that we tend to carry around with us for, whatever's happening in our life. And as you say, we try and fix it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we can't, then we feel guilty. But anger is, yeah, I would say that's a big one. We're not supposed to show people we're angry.
No.
Right.
Yeah, I think that actually guilt is expected of us. We're allowed to feel guilt. It's not a
Yeah,
great feeling, and we're usually, feeling guilt or maybe shame, but mostly guilt when it's not ours, to carry. But it's the anger and the rage.
yes,
It is not ladylike to be angry or rageful. It is not okay. And it's not really okay for anyone, but I think for men, they get away with it more. There's
yeah,
something kind of masculine, or
Hmm.
I'm not saying it is, but I think we
no,
think there's something masculine about anger and rage, and something not feminine about anger and rage. But you know what? We have anger. It's not a bad emotion, it's a real emotion.
Mhm.
And um, yeah, I think that's really,
yeah,
I think if we're not expressing it when we are angry, then it's going to come out in different ways, which is not
yeah,
necessarily the most healthy. And I think for me as women, um, yeah, if you get too angry, then you're just a bitch.
yeah. Well, we're taught. I agree from a young age, or I think from a young age, to hold it all in.
Hmm.
As you said, as young girls or women, we're not supposed to show that we're there. So we hold it in, and then of course, then we end up with all of these health issues because we're not
Yeah.
dealing with it or we're not expressing it in a proper way. There are other ways to express anger, but yeah, it you tend to think of it as, "Yeah, I'm just going to blow up." And I can remember raising my kids when they were younger. I had a lot of patience, and then I would reach one point, and then I just went ballistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That's when
Yeah.
the
And the
bomb
kids
goes
do
off,
when,
but then
yeah,
we're
when mom would put
categorized as
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you just yeah, you get to that point and it's just, yeah,
As you were talking, it just popped into my head. I forgot all about this. But being a young mom with my ex-husband, and it was like, oh, if women were angry, well, obviously we were menstruating.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I remember I forgot all about that because I don't have that issue anymore.
yeah,
But I
Right.
remember that was a big thing. Oh,
yeah.
you're just oh, are you
Your
having your
time.
period?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And we could say, no, I'm just pissed.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with hormones.
Yeah, but now you're really making me mad.
Yeah.
Right.
Now that you
Right.
said that. Yeah.
And that anger, as Trish was saying, when you turn it in and you suppress it, you're actually taking the anger out on yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes anger turned inward becomes depression.
Yes.
And so, a lot of women suffer from that because they have this unexpressed anger.
Yeah, but I find too that women, when they feel that they're saying the anger, sometimes they're misjudged and they feel not heard. So they would rather just zip it and nip it and,
Mhm.
you know, on to the next task.
Yeah.
Avoid conflict at all costs.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And also, anger
Absolutely.
sometimes, anger can be an emotion that covers up other emotions, right?
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
really underneath that anger is immense grief or
yeah,
sadness or fear. And so, if you don't deal with the anger, express the anger in some way, you're not going to get to what's underneath it.
yeah,
And that's important,
Mhm.
that I think that we need as women to understand that we're worthy of healing.
Yes.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing that strikes me, that I think about this all the time, and I talk about it in my work with my clients and in my circles, is the word enough is
Mm.
a really important word, and it means a couple things. It means enough. I'm not going to take that anymore. It's enough. And then it's also I'm enough.
Mhm.
I'm enough. I'm
Mhm.
enough. At the end of the day, even though I haven't gotten through my whole to-do list, I'm enough.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
And when you said that in those two contexts, I could feel the energy
yeah,
shift.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What about the emotion of desire? So it might be, I think that that's a forbidden desire or a forbidden emotion for women. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have to be, I think it's complicated, but I think that we need to be open and available for someone else's desire.
Yeah,
And other people want to feel that we desire them, but it's not coming from our own, our own place. It's not okay to just feel that sense of desire and to express it
yeah,
um, in safe ways.
Mhm. And the desire for more time, the desire for more money, all of those. And sometimes it drives me crazy because I hear so many women say, oh, well, I just want enough to be comfortable. Well, uh, I mean, okay, I don't. I want more,
dream
and
big.
I mean, and then sometimes I think, okay, well, if you won $1 million, I mean, it doesn't mean much these days, but if you won $1 million, are you just not going to take it? Because now it'll be more than you need to be
No,
comfortable.
Mm.
So I don't know. Like sometimes I think we say these things out of, I don't know if it's because we don't think we'll ever get it, or we don't want to set ourselves up for for not having that desire come to us. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I guess for me, I don't really equate desire with more necessarily. I equate it more with whatever it is I want. Why do I not allow myself to get it? Like, why do I put other
um,
people's needs before my own? If my desire is to walk outside right now, take a walk, I go through that, well, I need to prepare dinner and I need to do this and I need to do that. And can I really do what I want to do?
yeah,
And why am I not putting that first?
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's so true. That's so
yeah,
true.
yeah. Well, let's jump on to the next one. So, what are women praised for that's actually costing them something? So they're being praised for something, but it's actually costing them. So one of the things that jumped in with me is women being praised for being strong,
Yeah,
because we all have to be strong. We have families, and we have to just stiff up our lip and all that kind of stuff. But what does that cost us for being seen that way, being almost on a pedestal because you're so strong? So, for me, that's costing to me, I think that costs my peace. That costs I'm tired and I want to go lay down, but I don't because I shouldn't.
yeah, And I think what it does is it makes us put more pressure on ourselves.
Mhm.
And, it's, we're seen as being dependable and selfless and endlessly capable, which looks like strength. Um, but it usually comes at a cost for ourselves. Like we put ourselves last most of the time, and that's what costs us. And we need to learn to thrive and make sure that we're taking care of ourselves or doing what we want to do, like you said, instead of just, saying to somebody, oh, yes, I can do that. It's okay to say no. No is a sentence,
Right.
but we don't do it very often. And I know I'm just as guilty at that.
Hmm.
I think this is,
Emotional labor.
Yes.
oh yeah.
What was that, Tammy? I missed that.
Emotional labor.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's a really interesting question, Julia, the way you phrased it. What are we
Hmm.
praised for, you know? And I think that when you said we're praised for being strong, the first thing that occurred to me is that, yeah, I am strong, but that's not all I am.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I don't want to feel like I am being tied and bound to that definition of who I am. I'm strong, and sometimes I'm not strong. And also, what does strong mean? Does it mean, you can push through everything, or does it mean that you're vulnerable and you're honest? There's a lot of ways to
Mm,
interpret it. I
Yeah.
think the thing that came to me, actually, the first thing that I thought of was my looks, that we're praised for how we look.
yeah.
Mhm.
We're praised for being thin. We're praised for being, young looking and having nice skin. And then I'm always thinking, well, that's not going to last forever.
No. No,
The
no.
body doesn't stay that way forever.
No,
Right.
no, absolutely. Yeah. I did a podcast with a lady once and she was just amazing. She was just has so much knowledge and wisdom. And she said something. She said, there comes a time when we pass the baton to the younger generation,
Hmm.
but they don't realize that they're coming up with us if they're lucky.
Right. I
Yeah.
think this whole idea of praise, though, is really interesting because um, underneath the praise, what's the message? Like I'm always thinking, what's the message here? Is it I really value the fact that you're a strong person, or you're strong, I need you to be strong, and you always have to be strong? What's the message? And I think that all of us humans are complex creatures, and we're a lot of things all at the same time. And I think that I know for myself, I want to be recognized for that.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think what you said is so true that I think it's that we're just expected to be that way. I know for myself, I was a single mom for 24 years, and my ex-husband wasn't a lot of help. So I was pretty much had to be, I was the strong one. And I remember I was in a relationship with someone and I was so tired. I was so tired. I don't know. I just was so tired. And I remember going to bed, and we were in bed, and I all I wanted was a hug, right? Because I just was so tired. And so I said to him, "Oh, I'm so tired." And then he said, big mistake. He said, "Oh, I'm so tired too." And I freaking lost it. The first time I've ever actually lost it. And I remember I leaned up on my arm and I yelled, "Well, what the fuck can I do to make your life better?" And that was kind of the end of the relationship. But that,
I bet it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like, that's how I was seen. That's how we're seen sometimes. And we don't get, when we need a pat on the back or a hug, um, because we're being strong and it's exhausting, but then you get people in our life who don't give a damn. Long as you're fulfilling
Absolutely.
what I need.
Right. Well, I think that that feeling of being unseen and your partner in particular, the person who is supposed to be your most intimate, your person in your life, doesn't see you, it can be enraging.
Mm,
Yes.
I felt the way you felt many times, Julie,
mhm.
and I've done what you've done before too.
Me
And
too.
there's that anger, right? That, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think there just gets a point where, and I think even when I had that little outburst, I still like I wasn't aware. I just was aware that I was tired, and how dare you, like you could have at least said, "Oh, I'm sorry you had such a bad day," or, a little hug or whatever, right? But, to then to say, "Oh, well, this is what I need." And for me, it was like just completely not acknowledging my feelings. But I think my whole life was like that. It was my own fault because I let it happen.
well, I don't know if it's all your own fault. I mean, I think that
Well,
society is putting that pressure on you, and
yes.
you know, I think it's dangerous territory when, and I want to try and say this in a way that makes sense, that, I mean, the word narcissism comes up for me, and the idea of when someone does something that harms you in some way and you respond to it, the problem isn't your response. The problem is what that person did,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so often, especially as women, we're condemned for our responses. You're being too sensitive, or what's the big deal, or whatever it might be, or that's inappropriate, or why are you so angry? And it's really not, that's not really the problem.
You're
And
so
yet we
right.
blame ourselves for it, and we let
Yeah.
others blame us too.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, let's go to the next question, ladies. Okay. What lies are women still being handed about what a good life should look like?
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think I'll take a first stab at it. I think I guess the Cinderella story, the happily ever after.
Mm,
Stability equals fulfillment.
Hmm.
And that wanting more means you must be ungrateful for what you have.
mm,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
As young girls, and I had this with my daughter. It's just like you're 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 always chasing that story, that fairy tale of the happily ever after, and that's how it should be. And if it doesn't work out that way, well, then what happened? Like I did everything I was supposed to do, and I should be fulfilled now, and I should be having the good life now, but that's not what's happening. Um, and yeah, so sometimes we're still hanging on to those old, that's what a good life should be. Um, but that's not always the reality of how a good life should be.
No, for sure. One thing I wrote down here was when I was looking at the question, I thought, don't rock the boat.
No.
And
Hmm.
if you're not happy, just shift yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Just keep burying it.
Yeah. I think that we're all really told this lie of, if you do this, then this will happen. Like
Yeah.
this cause and effect thing.
Hmm.
And what I've learned just, in the years that I've lived is that's not how life really works.
No.
We can do all of this and something totally different is going to happen. And life really isn't about that sort of cause and effect. And that word expectation is a loaded word. You know, why do we have these expectations? Based on what? Based on things that were told us that's the way it's going to be. And then if it doesn't work out, we're disappointed,
Yeah.
right? Or
Yes.
we're confused.
Yes. Yeah. And one of the other things I jotted down here is that, so what does a good life look like today as a woman? And so that would be super busy home, um, uh, acceptable partner, steady income, smiling photos, but all the time you're bleeding inside.
Yeah.
Like
I,
that Facebook, everything looks great on Facebook,
oh my goodness, everything looks so
right?
good on
Oh,
Facebook.
yeah. Oh, what a
Oh,
wonderful life that person has. They always look, yeah, they're always smiling. They always, yeah. And then you find out there's a whole lot more underneath.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
think you're right, so right, Trish. And I think it's hard for us to, when we're looking at social media and we're seeing those things, it's hard for us to think that's probably not real.
Yeah.
Or, right? Like I have a girlfriend who was away in Mexico and a couple of her children came and their spouses and babies. And I saw all these, one of the daughter-in-laws put 75 pictures on Facebook. Just there's a lot of pictures. And I was looking and I was feeling this knot in my stomach because I was happy for her, but I haven't done anything like that with my kids, and they all look so happy and everything. So then she's actually, I've known her for 40 years. She's my hairdresser as well. So she comes back. I go over to get my hair done. The first thing I say when I walk in the door is, "Oh my goodness, it looks like you had such a wonderful time with the kids." And she looked at me and she said, "Oh, no, sit down. I have a story for you." And it was utter chaos. One of her boys got in a fight with a physical altercation with her boyfriend, and just like it was nothing like those pictures. And I
Yeah.
remember when I left, after getting, the real goods, I thought to myself, like, how often I've looked at those Facebook pictures and felt something, a
Yeah.
lack or a
Hmm.
longing, but it's not real. So we're looking at all this and we're feeling like crap or feeling like we're not enough. But really, you're not getting the whole picture. You're
Yeah.
not getting the fist fights and the kids screaming and, all that other stuff that's going on.
Right.
Well, it's like I've said before, and I've heard it before too. It's like, thank God Facebook wasn't around when I was growing up.
Oh,
But
I
it's
think
so
some of
true, and
us,
I tell my grandkids that, because they look at that and they see, these pictures of this, and I'm just like, a lot of that's not real. That's not the reality. And, so you have to really look at, you know, not necessarily just believing everything you see. And that's the hardest thing is to, teaching our grandkids or my grandkids that is like it's not all real on there.
mhm.
A lot of the women who I see in my work are really looking for their authentic selves and
Yes.
authenticity. And I think
Yeah.
that word's becoming more common in our language and talking about what's real. I mean, we can go to also, the whole idea of what fake news is. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of fake out there,
Hmm.
and we're all victims of that. And yet, how do we really find out who we authentically are, learn how to put that out into the world with confidence, right? And how do we model that for other women? I think in some ways it's our responsibility. And, you know, I find as I do this work for myself as well, more and more, you can sort of see through that stuff. Okay, that was a moment and everyone's smiling and everyone has good moments. And, probably, someone's drowning in the background, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Because that's what's real and that,
Yeah.
that life is messy and life is chaotic and yeah, so that whole
Yeah.
idea of authenticity, I think, is important.
That's a good word. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to add anything to that, Tammy? Any thoughts?
Authenticity. I I have certainly this year is going to be my year
Good.
myself.
You.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
nine of them that I've been putting them first. So
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Well, let's jump to the next one. So, what do women lose when they prioritize being liked over being honest? So, the thing that I jot down, first thought that came to me is we lose ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it brings to mind something that Brene Brown, I don't know if you know who she
Hmm.
is. Brene
Yeah.
Brown did, yeah. She said that the opposite of belonging, this feeling of belonging, is not what you think. The opposite of belonging is actually fitting in.
Hmm.
Because what we do, we turn ourselves inside out to fit in, to be liked. We lose ourselves.
Yeah.
That's not really belonging. Fitting in with a group that's already belonging is a more honest experience. So it kind of reminds me of that difference between being liked and all the things that we need to do in order to be liked, as opposed to just being honest and authentic as who we are. And then if we're embraced or we're welcomed in, then that's a real true feeling of belonging.
Yeah.
Sense?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I spoke to a lady recently, and she said we were talking a little bit about this, and she said that she never, and I never really gave it much thought until she gave me some clarity, the difference between being kind, kindness, and being nice.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was, when she started giving me all this clarity, I thought, oh my goodness, and I thought, I don't know. I think I'm nice. I'm the nice one. I don't think I'm as honest as or give as I thought I was kind. But after I talked to her, I realized I'm actually more nice than I am kind, which kind of shocked me
Mm.
because I always thought I was so kind, but kindness is a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that kindness comes from a real deep, loving, compassionate place. Being nice, it could be I'm being the nice girl, I'm being the nice one in the group, I'm doing all the right things to make someone else feel better. That's not necessarily kindness. As a matter of fact, sometimes there's a lot of anger and rage behind that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because I always walk around thinking, when I hear something new, I'm like, oh, the things I don't know out there. There's so much I don't know that I
Yeah.
don't know that I don't know.
And,
Yeah,
and you may not want to know.
I may
Yeah.
not want to know. No, exactly.
I
So,
think
You know that little thing that I don't know if you heard it when you were kids, like sugar and spice and everything nice. That's what little girls are made of.
oh my goodness,
Sugar and
yeah.
yes.
spice and everything. And
Oh,
boys are something in snails and puppy dog tails. That's what little
Yes.
boys are made of.
Yeah.
oh.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
Yes.
I just don't know that line with the boys, but yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up with that. Yeah.
They were conditioning us.
We
But
were,
it was
yes.
just be
We
nice,
were.
which means swallow all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
lose our voice. That's what happens is we lose our voice when we're, prioritizing being liked over being
Yeah.
honest, I think.
Yeah. Why do you ladies think that it's so hard for us to say no? Because men don't seem to have that
No,
difficulty.
they
That's
don't.
true. That's
No,
true.
they don't. Well, I think we've been conditioned to say yes to everything, to be gracious, and to step up and everything we've been talking about, to care about others and care for others. Saying no is setting a boundary,
Yes.
right? We're not supposed to set boundaries. If I say no, that means what you want, I'm not willing to give you.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the opposite of what we've been trained to do.
And sometimes people think our no's mean we'll just not right now.
Right?
Well,
Right.
there's that too. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never know.
But
Never
that's
know.
actually a
No
sales.
forever.
Yeah, that's actually a sales practice.
Oh,
When somebody
yes.
says no, well, do you mean no or just no, not right now?
Right.
It's exactly
Exactly.
a line that you give back.
Oh, it's so right, Trish. I had
It is.
an experience at a car place and I knew this was going to happen because when you go into a place and they think that you want to buy a car, they're just like, especially if you're an older woman. So I was really clear and I said, listen, I'm not here to buy a car. I'm here to get my car serviced, and I'm wondering if it would be worth it to trade in my car. So I just want to see. So of course, two young men, they just pounce. And I said, and I'm also not interested in test driving. Oh, I'm going to show you this great car, blah, 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 blah. It's like a this, it's like a that, it's red. It's like, how does he even know that I'm interested in any of that? I sit in it, he goes, come on, let's take it for a drive. I said, no, I'm not interested in test driving. And this like constant, and I kept saying, no, 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 no. And they finally called a third guy over. And I had to say to the three of them, what is it about the word no that you don't get? And they were like, oh, no offense, ma'am, no offense. I thought, well, I take offense. And I walked off. And I'm like, yes, yes.
Good for you.
But it was just, it was I spent so many decades not doing that and sort of like taking care of those guys at the car lot who, and letting them do all. And this time I'm just like, I hit a wall. I just hit a wall.
I guess they figured go watch you long enough, you'll break down.
Yeah, wear you down.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
Good for you. I know whenever I do say no, like to a client who's asked me to do something, my husband's like, "Are you feeling okay?" Like, you don't say no, and I'm like, "Yeah." Every day I'm learning to say it more often, and I have the boundaries, but I forget to enforce them sometimes. So it's learning to put those boundaries up and say, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I actually did that over the Christmas holidays. I told my one client, I said, yeah, I'm not working this day, or this day. And of course, I'm getting a text at 9 o'clock at night on one night, and I didn't answer. And he wrote back the second time, like, hello? and I text back, I'm on days off. Talk to you in a couple of days.
Right.
And I didn't hear from him. And it was funny, but I know my husband, like, he looked at me, he's like, that's unusual for you. And I said, yes, that I needed to do it. So, but yeah, I agree with you. We don't say no. When we do, it's empowering. So it's good for us to set those boundaries and adhere to them and say no sometimes.
Yeah. You want to give any input in there, Tammy?
No.
Good one, Tammy.
All right.
And I respect that. I respect that answer.
Yes, we'll move on to the next question then.
That was good.
That might be the best answers of the show. Okay. So what are women? Oh, I love this question. Oh, so what are women waking up to in this season of life, especially between 35 and 65?
Well, my first reaction is I'm 69. I don't fit in that category, but I'm waking up.
Same here. I don't fit there either.
Well, I think we're hoping that between 35 and 65, we get it figured out.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I didn't.
Okay.
Good thought there, Julie. But
yeah, I tried.
Just extend it.
Yes.
Extend it a little bit more. Yeah.
I think part of what I'm noticing in my work, not just for me, but is is women are waking up to the fact
No.
that they don't need a partner to be okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it isn't wonderful to have a wonderful partner,
Yes.
but I'm seeing how women are not, of all these ages, throughout this age range, are not necessarily going out there to find a partner, um, and putting aside the rest of their lives in order to do that. It's like that, you know what? All these things that I wanted in a partnership, I'm getting. I'm giving it to myself, I'm getting it from friends, I'm getting it from other places. Um, so I'm seeing that a lot.
Mhm. I've found that, and even and even for myself, I'm finding that I have a low tolerance of nonsense.
Yeah.
I just have no time. Is you guys are all irritating me. Like that's it's just like I can tell the difference between a serious gotta be dealt with versus like drama nonsense.
Yeah. I think it's realizing in this age and extended that uh, what worked before doesn't fit anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that what I'm seeing a lot of is this sort of acknowledgement of between, let's just say 35 and 65. There's, I think that women think that they're going to go through these kind of major transitions, and those are the only transitions they're going to go through. And I think women are realizing that transitions are happening all the time, and they're constantly rethinking who they are and their
Yeah.
own identity. And I
Mhm.
think that is um, unexpected, right, for people. And also the unexpected grief that comes from even small transitions.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I um I think also we're waking up to power
Yes,
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
and realizing that we've always had it, we just haven't been using it,
We weren't
Yeah.
allowed to use it,
or we weren't
I
allowed
think.
to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a waking up to, and I'm speaking from my own perspective and the perspective of the people that are around me. So it's not everybody, obviously, but this sort of growing understanding that the feminine way of thinking and being is worthy, and that we've been in a patriarchal society. There's a lot of imbalance, and it's not that masculinity or being masculine is wrong, it's just one part of who we all are. And sort
Hmm.
of the feminine, even things like our emphasis on logical and linear thinking. So that's a left brain way of operating, it's a masculine way of operating. It's not bad, but it's not everything. And the more sort of circular, the more emotional has always been demeaned.
Hmm.
And I
Yes.
Yes.
think
Yeah.
that women in particular are waking up to the fact that this is part of our nature.
Yes. And you're so right. It is part of our nature, and yeah, we've been taught suppress it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, oh, but we've been belittled for it. Oh,
Yes, we sure
that,
have.
that kind of thinking, it's okay, that's all well and good, but where's the logic behind it? Well, maybe there isn't always logic behind it. It doesn't have to be. And
Hmm.
I think women are, of all ages, are waking up to that, to understanding that that's part of their power,
Hmm.
actually.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think that yeah, we're not I think at this age, one of the things I find that I like about getting older is that I'm seen for me,
Yes.
if that
Yes.
makes sense.
Hmm.
Like I'm not pretending because I used to pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in my career I had to pretend. So it didn't matter what was going on or how I felt or anything at all. When I knocked on that person's door, I had to have that nice little smile on my
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, and pretend through the whole thing and then get back out in my car and have tears and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I can remember doing that on several occasions. And
Yeah.
yeah. And then you don't know how you get through it. You just do.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, yeah, I'm just pretending and
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think now, because I feel more in my own skin and I feel my power, I wouldn't go. At least that's what I think today. I would, or at least if this was happening to me today, I would not go. I had an appointment with a girlfriend and I had a bad day. And then funny enough, she had a bad day and we talked and we're both like, yeah, we're both having bad days. So yeah, let's just stay home
Yeah.
and chill. And that's what we did. Whereas years ago, I would have probably sucked it up. I wouldn't have even had the confidence to make that phone call.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that what I'm thinking as you're speaking is that there's a level of acceptance and self-acceptance that starts to
Yeah.
happen as you get older. And I also think for women, there's a certain amount of invisibility that happens too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because society doesn't really know how to how to deal with with aging and elderhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to be an older woman, I mean, some cultures it's not like that at all. That
No.
weird for
Yeah.
our women. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. You want to jump in, Tam? You got anything to say? No. Okay. All right. Well, we're almost through. It's been so interesting. I've just been loving our conversation. Okay. So here is another question. What do women need more permission for right now? Not advice, not motivation, but permission. What do they need permission for? My thought is we need permission to be able to change our minds. We do.
That's a good one.
We do because so often it's like, oh, but you said you were going to do that. Oh, I changed my mind. I reconsidered and I've decided that's not something that I want to do. Or I said that a long time ago. Why are you bringing it up now? You know?
Yeah.
So I think we need permission to be able to change our minds and recalibrate and go on a different path if that's something that we want to do.
Hmm.
Well, I think we need permission to be ourselves and actually
Mm.
not from someone else. We need to give ourselves permission.
Yeah.
Who are we asking permission of? Right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
We have to give ourselves permission.
Yeah.
I have permission to show up authentically in the world. I have permission to say what I feel and what I believe with a certain amount of compassion and kindness, but
Hmm.
honest. Um, I give myself permission. I think we need to all be able to say that. I give myself permission
Mhm.
for this. Um,
Hmm.
as soon as we start asking some kind of outside authority, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, we are. You're right. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. One of the big things for me, and I know I've spoken to lots of women who have had this issue, is not resting.
yeah, yes. Go, go, go. With the ever ready bunny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge. And as a matter of fact, there's like a movement of that. There's a Trissa Hersey wrote a book called Rest is Resistance. And she has a thing that she
Oh.
calls the NAP ministry. And she talks about it, and not just for women, but for everybody, that it is actually an act of resistance and that rest isn't running away from anything. It's giving ourselves the time to reset, to take care of ourselves so that we can show up better and in our fullness. And so That's huge. I'm glad you brought that up. Rest.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that yeah, I never I've started napping now. But I remember, 10, 15, 20 years ago, it wouldn't matter how tired I was. I would not nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just push my way through it.
And then finish work, come home, cook, clean the kids, get them ready for bed while the husband's having a beer watching the hockey game.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm great as long as I keep moving. But if I sit down, I'm out.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Sit down and watch the news and I'll fall asleep,
Yeah.
6 o'clock at night.
We
But
we go way beyond our actual capacity.
we do.
Then we're hurting ourselves. And so
Hmm.
I'm retraining myself. Also, what's expected of us in jobs, that, we all have our own biorhythms. Like for me, the afternoon hours, I'm worthless,
Yeah.
worthless. 1 to 4, like forget it. I need to take a siesta. And sometimes those were the high power times when people, you need to make decisions, you need to do things. And I felt like a failure.
Yeah.
Mm,
But all I really need to do was take like a 20-minute nap.
yeah.
Mhm. Clarity
Yeah.
reset.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
like you said, Lee, we all function, some of us function better in the morning lark, or some of us are the night owl. Like my husband is a night owl and I'm a morning lark.
We
Um, he can, he'll stay up all night and do stuff. And me, it's like if I make it to 10 o'clock, it's like, yeah, but I'm up at 5.
Hmm.
So,
Yes.
and that's where my best brain is in the mornings, that's my best brain. But for him, his best brain or his best thinking is late at night.
Hmm.
So it's, and yes, you can train yourself to turn around, but it can be hard. And it's like you said, sometimes you just need that afternoon nap to rejuvenate and then you can get back in it. And when you don't, then it's like you said, you're just kind of useless. You're not making sound decisions, or you're floundering and, not doing what you want or what's productive.
And I think
Mhm.
it's important for us to teach our kids. I remember when I have 2 daughters, and when they were little, I would call the school a few times a year, and I'd say to the nurse, "We're taking a wellness day." And when I first did that, she was just like, "Oh, what? Are you sick? Is someone sick? Is that why you're home?" No, we're fine. We're staying home today, and we would have the best time.
Yeah.
And the kids were excited to go back to school the next day. We're all revived and rejuvenated, and we'd stay in our pajamas
Hmm.
and whatever we did or didn't do. And
Yeah.
so there's there's this thing that I heard the other day, a couple weeks ago, and I'm using it a lot. The idea of overdoing and underbeing.
Oh,
And we're always, especially as women, overdoing, but when
Hmm.
we overdo, we also underbe. Just
yeah.
being, just being. We don't give ourselves enough time to just like look at the clouds or,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Stare at the
Yeah.
wall.
It's so, oh my goodness, that's so true. And I
Mhm.
think the other thing that we negotiate about is time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Hmm.
yeah. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to do that as soon as the kids are older. Or I'm going to do that as soon as I make so much money, then I can do that. Or I'm going to do this, or yeah, or I'll go see that person, or yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, for me now, I'm approaching 70. I'll be 70 at my next birthday. So that's different for me now. I'm becoming really aware of time in a new way, that if there are things that I want to experience, I'm going to do it now.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. That's where my husband just retired. And I said, I'm still working, but I work from home. And I just said, I want us to start, going and doing things instead of just, working. And he worked shift work. And so you were always limited as to when and where you could go. And I said, yeah. So I said, we're going to take a nice big trip this coming year just to, I'll probably work during it, but that's okay. It's
Yeah.
getting out there and doing what I want to do.
Mhm.
And I think that's a big shift. It's as we get older, we tend to look at more of what we want to do as opposed to what we have to do.
Oh, that is so true. That's where I am. I'm like, I don't want to do that. No, I don't like doing that. This is what I like doing. I like doing this and this and this, but that over there, I don't like doing. So I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same thing, right? We start to see the world shorter.
Yeah.
It's a much shorter world out there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Well, ladies, we are down to our last question.
Mhm.
Oh,
I just can't, but oh, such great conversation. Okay, so here's our last question. If women that are listening could hear one collective truth today, what would it be? What do you think that truth is out there?
I can say that we were never meant, hang on, sorry. We were never meant to survive life quietly. You were meant to live honestly.
Hmm.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
I would
I
say,
like
I would say the collective, we are enough.
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. Well, what
I
I
think
have, oh, sorry, go ahead, Trish.
I was gonna say, I think one would be you're not behind, you're just becoming.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
Love it.
I love
that's
that.
good. That's almost, you said it way better than I would say it because what I was going to say is you're not late.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just becoming. You're just
Yes.
stepping into your time.
I think that we're becoming, that's what we're doing our whole lives. We're becoming
Yeah.
our
Mm,
end day. That's what we are. That's, yeah.
Well, and as women, statistically, we live longer than men. So
mhm,
we need to understand and become who we want to become.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Our roles uh, over the years are, daughter, then mother, wife, or that's supposed to be the other way around. Wife, then mother.
Theoretically, yeah.
It could be either way. And grandmother and all of those things. And sometimes we forget. Or I remember years ago, uh, money was tight, and I was doing some volunteer work that I just loved. Like it filled me
Yeah.
up, but it wasn't paying me anything.
Mm.
And my job, I wasn't doing my job the way I should have because I was doing all of this. All I wanted to do was this volunteer work, but it didn't pay. So I had to make a decision, and I made the decision to drop the volunteer work. But in my head, in my mind, I always thought I can go back to it one day, and I have. So
Oh,
now I've gone back to it because I have the time to go back to it.
Yeah.
So we do,
Mhm.
so as women, we may have to set some things aside for because that's, we live in a country where you have to have money to live. It's
yeah.
just the way it is, right? So we
Yeah.
have to get money from somewhere. So we have to, do those things. We have to make sure our children have food if, those kinds of things. So we end up making those decisions to drop certain things or leave things behind, but it doesn't mean forever. That's what I always want
That's
women
right.
to know. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
forever. You can pick that up anytime you want. There'll come a time when you can pick that back up.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, forever.
Yeah.
And
You know,
and we don't I don't think we outgrow our lives. And it's certainly not in just one moment. Everything happens, I'll say quietly over time. There's lots of little things we don't need to be polished. We don't need to resolve or fix everything. We just need to let our lives happen and become quietly over time.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There's this work this book that I found a while back, and it has informed me so much and affected my life so much. And it's called The Inner Work of Age From Role to Soul.
Mm.
And it's
Oh,
by a woman named Connie Zweig. And what it really is about is that we get to a point in our lives when, and I've gotten to that point where it's not another role that I'm looking for.
yeah,
It's going deep into my soul and understanding who I am and
yeah,
what are the gifts that I have to bring into the world. And I think when we're younger, as you said, Julie, we're so busy taking care of everyone, making money. We don't have time to do the
no,
work that feeds our souls, that brings our souls out into the world. And that is the beauty of age.
yeah,
If you are privileged enough to have that, and
Yes,
that point, it, you
yeah,
know,
absolutely. Yeah. And I always think, well, once in a while when I'm like, uh-oh, what birthday am I at now?
yeah,
But then I say to myself, but I'm here. I'm
right,
yeah,
here. I'd rather be here than not here. So I'm just going to be
yeah,
happy about that.
right.
And,
Yeah,
and then we take in all those beautiful things, like you were saying, that we have now. We have time for those things.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's going to be
Or
so
more,
interesting.
I think more
Yeah,
important, we make the time for
we
those
do.
things.
We do. We
That's
make
what
the time.
changes.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what changes.
Yeah. It's going to be so interesting to see the next generation of ladies
Yeah,
coming up because in the beginning we were chatting about, how it's a little different for that generation now, and it's going to be so interesting to see what their thought
yeah,
processes were as they were
yeah,
coming up and getting older, and yeah, I'm so curious.
yeah.
I'm
I
very
just
scared for those stories.
yeah.
You're what?
Scared for
You're
those
scared
stories.
for those
Well, some
stories?
of them, some of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
With what's going on today, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I know.
scared.
Well, it'll be interesting because it's a different time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to be here so I can see it. My own eyes, and I can go, oh, that's what you guys felt. Interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, ladies, we did it. We
yeah.
did all of our questions. We got deep and real and raw, and it was wonderful. So thank you, Tammy and Trish and Lea for being here and doing this with me at this time. I just appreciate all three of you so much, and I can't wait to get this out into the world so that we can share it with everybody. And I know that our conversation is definitely going to help women out there. So thank you all for doing this. And for you listening or watching, I want to just remind you that we will have information in our show notes so that if you want to reach out to Lea, or you want to reach out to Tammy, or you want to reach out to Trish, or if you want to reach out to me, the information will easily be there for you so that you can go ahead and do that. Okay, ladies, well, that's it. Thank you so much for being here and being willing to do this. As I say, I appreciate it. It's so much. It was just it was a wealth of information, such a great conversation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Bye bye, everybody.
All right. Bye, ladies.
Bye.